You've seen the Horsemen, you've heard the Apocalypse, but the book of Revelation is one of the strangest texts in the ancient world. Not because of its monsters, but because it breaks nearly every rule of its own genre. It's not written under a fake name. It's not set in the past. Its Greek is nearly ungrammatical, and its structure isn't a timeline. It's a spiral. So let's start with what makes this text strange. Not its content, but its form. The word apocalypse comes from Greek. It means unveiling. As a genre, an apocalypse is a heavenly revelation given to a human seer, filled with cosmic imagery and symbolic visions. By the 1st century, this genre had firm conventions. First, the author was pseudonymous. The text was written under a famous ancient name like Daniel, Enoch, or Moses for automatic authority. Second, the setting was retrospective. The author pretended to write from the distant past, narrating events already happened as prophecy. Third, the form was pure vision, no letters, no practical instructions. Fourth, the language was polished literary Greek or Hebrew. Revelation violates all four. The author calls himself John, not an ancient patriarch. Scholars call him John the Seer, distinct from the gospel writer. He writes in his own present. He believes the end has already begun with Jesus. The book opens with 7 letters to real churches in Asia Minor. No other apocalypse does this. And the Greek is rough, nearly ungrammatical. Yet the literary architecture underneath is extraordinarily intricate. Some scholars think John had limited education. Others argue the rough style is deliberate, a refusal to write in the polished language of Roman imperial culture. But the real key to Revelation isn't what rules it breaks. It's what it builds instead. To understand that structure, you need to know how an ancient scroll worked. A papyrus scroll was rolled tight and secured with successive wax seals along its edge. To read the contents, you broke the seals in order. Each broken seal let the scroll unroll further, releasing the next portion of text. 7 seals, 7 stages of unrolling, 7 revelations. This is the physical metaphor John builds on. Each seal doesn't just symbolize an event, it literally unlocks the next section of a divine document. The scroll is God's hidden plan, and the seals are its security system. Now, here's the structural surprise. Revelation does not tell its story in a straight line. It cycles, catastrophe, then a pause for reassurance, more catastrophe, worse this time, then another pause. Each cycle tightens and intensifies. The structure is a spiral, not a timeline. And the 7 seals are our first full rotation through that spiral. Let's watch it work through the most famous sequence in the book. Seal 1, a white horse. The rider carries a bow and wears a crown. Imperial conquest. 1st century audiences recognize the Parthian mounted archer, Rome's most feared eastern enemy. Seal 2, a red horse. The rider carries a great sword and takes peace from the earth. Not one empire's war, universal violence. Seal 3, a black horse. The rider holds scales and a voice announces, a quart of wheat for a denarius. A denarius was a Roman silver coin, roughly a full day's wage for a laborer, and that's subsistence grain at luxury prices, while oil and wine go untouched, famine that devastates the poor, while the wealthy are fine. Seal 4, a pale green horse. The rider is named Death, and Hades follows behind him. Authority over a quarter of the earth. The pattern is clear: conquest, war, famine, death, each seal worse than the last. 4 seals, 4 horses, 4 escalating catastrophes. The rhythm trains you to expect a 5th horseman. John knows you expect it. That's exactly why he doesn't give you one. The 5th seal opens, and instead of another horse, there's nothing. The scene shifts to the heavenly temple. Beneath the altar, the souls of martyrs cry out, "How long, O Lord?" they receive white robes. They're told to rest a little longer. And this is a pastoral digression. Pastoral meaning it comforts and reassures the way a shepherd tends a flock. The spiral turns inward. After 4 rounds of escalating horror, John pauses to say, "Your suffering is seen, your deaths are not forgotten, the answer is coming, but not yet." The reader exhales, the tension loosens, and that's exactly when John strikes again. Seal 6, earthquake. The sun turns black, the moon turns to blood, stars fall from the sky, and then the key image. The sky rolls up like a scroll. To a modern reader, that sounds like metaphor. It wasn't. Ancient Israelite cosmology understood the sky, the firmament, called rakia in Hebrew, as a solid dome arching over the flat earth, holding back the waters above. When John says the sky rolls up, he means the physical barrier between earth and heaven is peeling away. The structure of the universe is collapsing. Kings, generals, slaves, everyone hides and begs the mountains to fall on them. The wrath of the Lamb has arrived. After earthquake, blackened sun, falling stars, and the sky peeling away, you'd expect the 7th seal to drop. It doesn't. John makes you wait. Instead, 4 angels hold back the winds of destruction, while 144,000 people, 12,000 from each tribe of Israel, receive a seal on their foreheads, a mark of divine protection. Here is the inversion at the heart of this sequence. The same Greek word, sphragis, seal, performs opposite functions. The seals on the scroll, when broken, release destruction. The seal on the foreheads, when applied, confers protection. Same word, opposite meaning, destruction unleashed versus destruction withheld. Songs of praise erupt. The spiral turns inward again, and the 7th seal still hangs unbroken. And this is just the first spiral. The seals are followed by 7 trumpets, then 7 bowls, each cycle more intense, each delay more agonizing. This is not narrative confusion, it's deliberate psychological architecture. John builds tension, offers relief, builds worse tension, offers relief, and delays the climax until the audience is desperate for resolution. A text this structurally sophisticated cannot be dismissed as primitive. The rough Greek and the intricate architecture exist in paradox, like a jazz musician who breaks every rule of harmony but builds something breathtakingly complex. Revelation is not a roadmap of the future. It's a literary machine designed to cycle its readers through terror and comfort until they internalize one message. Suffering is real. God sees it, and the ending has already been written.